week 5 of The Bachelorette. This week, instead of having just one date last week, we have 3 full dates plus a rose ceremony. And I think that can all be attributed to just not having as much drama. It was very refreshing to cut down on the drama. I do appreciate that this season has focused more on romance than our past season with Matt James. But still, getting rid of all the rest of that drama will make this season amazing. You know, we got rid of villain Thomas last week, so we need to make a new villain, as is Bachelor tradition, I guess. And there are 2 prime candidates right out of the gate, and that is Blake, the new arrival, and Hunter. We might as well start off with Blake, since he was our first one-on-one date of the week. Just how they set that whole thing up. Like, they were trying to fuel drama. Instead of having Katie coming in and explaining everything to the guys, which, you know, they still wouldn't have been happy that Blake was there, but really would have accepted it. Instead, they send Tayshia in to try to smooth things over, which clearly is not going to work, and then just send Blake in to just have this awkward conversation with all the guys where the guys don't even want to make eye contact with him. Then the date card comes in, so he gets his one-on-one date. So now all the guys are sitting there. They're already mad at this guy, and now they feel like he's just stolen away the one-on-one date from one of them. Just all set up just to fuel that rivalry, the drama within the house, and it was all ridiculous. Date for Blake, it went very well. Who knows how long Katie and Blake were rolling around in that hay. You know, we got shots of them with no hay in their hair, shots of them with absolute hay everywhere. I think they had a little bit of a roll. I think that they were making out for quite a while there, a lot longer than what we were shown. So good for Blake. You know, he just showed up. He's just joined the house. And now he immediately has to be a front runner. And by the end of this episode, I feel like all the people who have gotten one-on-one dates have to be considered our front runners. Like, you know, we're talking about Greg and Blake and Michael A. and Andrew S. I don't know if I'm missing anybody in there, but like all those people have to be considered, like at least people who are going to make it to like top 6, possibly hometowns as well. Moving on from Blake, we jumped over to one of the stupidest dates that the Bachelor franchise insists on having, and that is the full contact, violent, competitive sport date. And to even juice it up even further, they put it on the line that the winning team gets time with Katie, the losing team goes home, just to amp up that violence even further. You know, it's absolute stupidity. And like, they weren't even playing a real sport. They were playing basketball with football tackling. And like we saw, like, I don't know how more people didn't get hurt, because we were seeing cheap shots left and right nonstop the whole time. You know, it all opened up with Hunter just for whatever reason, like blindsiding Mike P. Very easily could have just smashed him into the goalpost, which would have been a way worse injury than what we saw. Later on, like, we saw lots of people get hit way below the knees, absolute dirty hits, and then followed it up with Justin obliterating Michael A., and that was the end of the date. You know, the medic was called out, and the date was immediately over. You know, this is just, it's absurd to me. Like, you can do competitive things that don't have to revolve around violence. Like, we don't need to see the guys wrestle each other in mud. You know, we can do other activities with them shirtless. We can do other activities with them shirtless in mud. Like have them try to catch a pig. Like it would be hilarious. You know, for the group date, competitive group date, send them all bowling and still make them wear those same outfits. You know, I'd be laughing my ass off at the TV to see Aaron in his ridiculous wrestling outfit throwing some balls down the bowling lane. It would be absolutely incredible, and I guarantee everybody out there watching would love it as well. After this date, it starts to become pretty clear that Hunter is going to be our new villain. So luckily for Blake, he is not going to have to be the one who takes up that mantle. Michael A. I just got to say that if Katie does not end up picking him, he damn well better be the Bachelor, because I know that I'm absolutely falling in love with this guy. He's just the nicest, most incredible person that I think I've ever seen on this show. And I would love to see a season with him and an entire cast of women, you know, picked for him. You know, not the influencer wannabes, just real women looking for love. You know, that's kind of what I feel this show should be about, and it's really not. It's really about the drama and, you know, getting us invested in these storylines that have nothing to do with love whatsoever. But I think that if you cast an interesting lead that people like, that people want to see fall in love, and then actually sell us a love story, that this show would do fantastic. All right, moving forward. One thing, before we actually end that, why are all of a sudden we talking about Greg possibly leaving? You know, we've not really seen that conversation. Obviously, in the previews, they've been alluding to someone leaving, definitely making it seem like it's going to be either Michael A. or Greg. And then all of a sudden on this date, Katie and Greg are talking about Greg having thoughts of leaving. Like, how is this coming up between them on this date, and it's not something that we saw before? Feels a little off to me, so I think that we have missed out on some piece of information. So Hunter gets the rose from this date, and let's move on to Andrew S. This date felt a little weird to me because we get the lead up that Katie wants to see his more serious side, or wants things to get a little bit more real. And then they just kind of go on a silly date. Now, it did have its moments where they definitely opened up to each other. It was definitely serious, but it was like a goofy thing out in the woods. They're ripping down envelopes with mostly silly questions in them. They're piñataing these hearts with questions in them. They're grabbing these big balloons with silly questions in them. And the whole thing felt a little bit fun and silly when Katie was wanting to get serious with him. Now, thankfully for Andrew, he did get serious, did go to that different level that Katie was looking for, and ends up having a good date. But I just feel like don't send him on a silly date if you don't want him to be silly. So moving on, we lastly have the rose ceremony. All we really got out of this, or the cocktail party and rose ceremony, all we really got out of the cocktail party was just further establishing that Hunter's going to be the next villain. Apparently, people don't like it when you take time at the cocktail party to talk to the lead, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. From there, we jumped into the rose ceremony, and I really don't think there was anything too shocking here. Kind of felt that it was going to be Brendan going home and not Courtney, but Andrew M. and the other guy who's all season long, I haven't been able to remember his name, they get sent home, and it's just not a surprise. Like, these are people we are just not even seeing. We saw Courtney a little bit. Brendan, we see him zero, and he still gets a rose. Like, just get him out of the picture. Get him off the show. Not that he's a bad person or anything, but there's just really no shot that he's going to be around at the end. So I don't know why we're wasting time with people who aren't even on the show. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap things up for this week. We got a very explosive preview of what's to come for the rest of the season at the end tonight. So, lots to look forward to, lots of drama ahead, and I'm looking forward to being back to cover it all for you. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.